Okay, well, it's that time again. Time to do some cleaning up. So, let's see where we left off. Let's download this. All right. Let's plug him in. Okay. Quite a bit is working. All right. But every time we get a lot working, it's time to go back and look at what we got done. Okay, so let's look at Blink. Blink is actually pretty easy to understand. Eyelids down, eyelids up. Do nothing, very easy. Look around. We have already simplified this to a table lookup. Follow eyes. Oh, my goodness. That, that's not good. Let's see if we can simplify it a little bit. Now, one thing I've noticed is that call random elevation is in each and one of these if else branches. That means I can move it outside of branch, the if else branches, and it'll do the same thing. All right, that looks better. Well, to me it looks better, maybe not to you. So we could do a table lookup for this, but it would be creating the table to do the lookup would probably be more difficult to look at than this. So I'm going to leave it as is. This isn't all that bad. What we're looking at is different combinations of eye rotation and head rotation. So we're, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're doing exactly the same thing, setting the head and the eye, depending on which way we want it to go. And that's a fine thing. Okay. So that's pretty well cleaned up. Now we did make a change, and what that means is that we need to test the change that we made. We always want to test after we make changes. Okay. So far it's working. Oh, just to prove me, all right? Go ahead and do a lot of those. Yeah, okay. All right. I think we need to do a little bit with our personality. Okay. All right. Nothing. Got a lot of nothing. Got blinking. Got tracking. I'm going to reorder this a little bit. Move tracking up. Move nothing down. Put blinking in here. And we'll put nothing here. Okay. So I'm going to make, I'm going to take one of the following eyes out. And add a nothing. I'm going to take one of the looking around out. And one of the trackings. Oh, and make the rest of those nothing. So I want a bit less activity from our robot. So this should do that. Looking around should probably not be followed by more looking around. We could do following eyes, or we could do tracking, or we could do nothing. Blinking goes to nothing. Following eyes, looking around are nothing. Tracking, nothing, or looking around. We've been putting the nothings last. Okay. So we did a little bit of work there. And now that should be good. Oh, here, we got to look at this one next. So we did look at this one, and we did a little bit of simplification on it. And I'm okay with the way it looks now. Okay. Maybe not so much this. This is a little bizarre. All right. So what am I going to do here? This is going to be a little while. First thing I want to do is I want to take this and I want to make it a function that tells me what it does. Because right now I could look at that for quite some time and not really understand what it does. So I'm going to call this eyes are centered. Question mark, because it is going to return true or false. And let's do return. And what I want in there is this. Okay, now pull this out for now. Well, maybe I should leave it for now. Okay. And what I want is more of a guard clause. So it comes in here and we're checking for the validity of, right? Is it a valid action? And to do this action, to do tracking, we want, well, we don't have to have the eyes centered, but for right now, we're only dealing with eyes are centered. I might make a completely different function to do tracking when the eyes are looking otherwise not centered. Okay. And I want this guard clause to be the case when I don't want it to run this code. So I'm going to add a not and call. Now I could change this to return the not, but I don't want to do that. I want to be more explicit. If not, eyes are centered. What are we doing? And if the eyes are not centered, we're going to set this final count to 0, and we don't want to do anything else. And we can use a return for that as long as we don't put any arguments in it. MakeCode seems to understand that when you do this, it's a fast exit. So we're doing a fast exit here. If our eyes are not centered, which is what that says, set the final count to 0, which will mean do something else and go back. So not doing anything. So there we go. Okay. Now, if we are going to do something, we're going to set the final count to 26. And then I'm going to, in here, be doing some stuff. And first thing I want to do is pick out the eye rotation when I'm tracking, because this random elevation, we're probably going to do that no matter what, right? So any of these are already done, kind of like we just did. That'll simplify it. So if we're going to be tracking, we're going to get a random elevation to move to. Okay. And the next thing we want to do is set our new eye rotation. So that's pretty much what a lot of this is doing. So let's pull this out. I want to make this into a function. So instead of choosing the eye rotation, I'm going to go ahead and create a function that will return the eye rotation. And what am I going to call it? I'm going to call it new eye rotation while tracking. Okay, and this is based on this logic here. So let's go ahead and duplicate this. And let's take out anything that's not head rotation, not eye rotation. Okay. So we're looking for head rotation left, right, and center. I'm going to move these around. So I'm going to put that there. So it's left, center, right. Okay, so left, center, right. So that's kind of a, good way to do it. Okay, so if head rotation is to the left, we want to return we want to return the eye rotation that we want is head is over to the left. We want our eyes to come back towards center. Right? Okay. So our head to come back towards center. Eye rotation center from left. No. Eyes are already centered. If our head is to the left and we're looking straight, we want to look to the right. Okay, this can get confusing. All right, and that tells us basically that if we're over here, we want the opposite. We want to turn our head to the left. Okay. Next. Now, I don't know that I want to pick random necessarily. I want to pick based on my current circumstances. So if current eye rotation is less than, meaning it's to the left of, and I want to get the smaller one. So let's look at state constants. No, I want servo constants. Yeah. So the smaller of the two is this 90 degrees. I rotation center from the right. Okay, so I rotation center from the right. I rotation center from the right. So if our I rotation is less than I rotation center from the right, or actually equal to, that's better. So yeah, because we haven't moved it yet, so current I rotation is equal to I rotation from the right, then we want the new I rotation to be to the left, otherwise we want it to go to the right. And the reason for that is so that we can tell later on which way we chose. All right. Return I rotation right. Now let's see. Okay. Right, left. I rotation left, I rotation right. Okay. These need to be returns. And unfortunately, because we don't have an else, it's telling us that we're broken. Turning that last thing into an else will ensure that MakeCode now knows that we're going to return something, even though we had all of our bases covered. So left, we turn our eyes to the right. If our head is centered, then depending on whether our eyes are slightly left or slightly right, remember it depends on where that push and pull is. But if it's equal to 90, we're already pushing it towards the left. And so we want to continue pushing to the left because that's going to start moving those eyes immediately. If it's on the other side, we want to pull so that it starts moving immediately. Otherwise, we're going to look to the left because we are looking, head's already on the right. Okay. So the new I rotation is going to be I rotation while tracking. Okay. That's good. This one, I rotation, I rotation, I rotation, I rotation. Head rotation, head rotation, head rotation, head rotation, I rotation, I rotation. So we're comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges. I've made that mistake before, and you guys didn't even tell me about that. Whatever, I'm over it. Now we can get rid of this. Okay, so movement counter equals 0, and we're going to start setting these up. Now we have not set the head rotation, which means that we can do one of these move linears non-linear. What's up, kitty? What? That's Henry. Henry's helping us today. So from here to there, we can move non-linear, and we can go from 0 to, I guess, 11. I guess final count for now. All right, I have to do something else first. Okay, so now we don't have to call out this one individually. We can do move Centerville's non-linear. Now, I want to get rid of this particular number here by creating a variable for it. The variable is going to be eyes only movement count. And it's uppercase because well, it's uppercase because it's a constant. We're not going to change it, and I don't want people changing it, so it's all uppercase, which is a way of shouting out, keep your hands off my constants. All right, now that we've got that, let's do this. Where is eyes only movement count? So now that was less than or equal to, so that's going to be just plain old less than. So from here to almost eyes only movement count, we're going to move the servos non-linear. Now, one thing I need to do here is a little bit of math, and the reason for that is that I want the eyes to move relatively similar to when we start moving the head. I don't want it to look like the eyes are moving at kind of a different rate. So the final count in terms of this call to the servos is going to be from 0 to final count minus eyes only movement. And as you can see right now, boom, that was always wrong. All right. Now, movement counter is equal to greater than, and I don't like that. We're going to change that a little bit. When it's equal, we need to set some things, and we need to call move the servos. Okay, so we want our eyes to go back to the center, and we need to reset our old and new. Now we have a function that does that. It does a little bit more than that, but I'm okay with that because I like using the same function over and over again. It just does everything that it needs to do. That way, I am not I don't have to worry about which ones are moving, which ones are not moving. If I just change my mind and I want to add some other movement to it, I'm covered. I'm actually covered because I'm using the functions that do all of the servos and not just a specific one or two. So that keeps me from making mistakes later. And we've already, those of you who have watched these videos already know that I make a lot of mistakes. So I'm going to try and keep myself from making more mistakes. All right. So the new eye rotation is going to be back to the center. So we're moving, so we've moved our eyes over, and then we're going to start moving our head in that same direction with the eyes moved over. But then as we move our head into place, our eyes are very slowly moving back to the center. We don't even notice it. But we end up with, we're looking straight forward. Okay. Now, we do have to set the head rotation. That's kind of a big thing now. So we've got the eye rotation. Elevation is already set. What we've done with elevation is we've updated the servo positions, so we're going to continue on with our movement. All right, eyes only movement. Nope, we want our new head rotation. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a function kind of like we have had before, which is going to be new, not uppercase, lowercase, new head rotation while tracking. Because this is probably only going to, this function is probably only going to be good for one use right in this the middle of this. All right, let's grab this. This has what we need it to do, kind of, sort of. Again, let's stick these so that it's left, center, and then right. In some kind of an order. Okay, left, center, right. And this is not going to be that anymore. All right, so head rotation was to the left, so the new head rotation will be to the center. So let's go over here and grab our return. And we're done with that. And again, we know what we want over here. We want the head rotation to be towards the center. Get rid of this. We can get rid of this. There we go. Now, all we have to deal with now is what do we do when the head rotation is center? Now, as you may recall, when our head rotation was equal to head rotation from the right, we're going to go to the left. So we started out 90, we'll get less than 90 if we were going to the right. So we can steal this out of here. And we know that we've already chosen an eye rotation. And if the current eye rotation is to the left of eye rotation from the right, we know that we want our head rotation to go left because our eye started moving left. Therefore, we need our head to move left. Okay, let's do that. Head rotation left. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Now we know the else will be in the opposite direction. Head rotation right. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. Okay. Now, what else? Now, if our head is left or right, we're going towards the center. So really, the only thing we have to kind of sort of worry about is if our head is already in the center, we have to make a decision about left and right. Otherwise, it's just we're turning towards the center. So let's pull this out and bring this up here. Pull this out, get rid of all this, and add this at the bottom. Okay, so what are we doing with this? So if we chose, if our head was in the center, right? If our head was in the center, and wait, oh wait, I got rid of too much. Got rid of too much. Okay, so now if our current head rotation is centered, then we want to go to the left or the right, depending on which way we center our eyes. So if we center our eyes to the left, we want our head to go to the left. If we center our eyes to the right, which is the opposite, we want our head to go to the right. And if our head is on the left or the right, we want to go to the center, regardless of which side it's on. So, we got that. Update Servo's head rotation. New head rotation while tracking. Duplicate this. There we go. Okay, so I claim that this does exactly what the previous code did, except that this looks a lot better because I can look at this and read it. The eyes are not centered. Fast exit out of here. Otherwise, it's going to take me 26 counts to finish it. At 11 counts, I am halfway through it. New eye rotation, called new eye rotation while tracking, which is going to decide which way we're going to go. And that's going to depend on which way the head's rotated. Remember that we've already checked to see if the eyes are centered, so we know that the eyes are centered. We just have to check the head rotation. So if the head is still left, we need to move our eyes the opposite direction. If the head is in the center, then we can move either one. I'm going to choose to continue moving in the eyes. The last time the eyes moved, I'm going to continue moving in that direction. That's what this does, so that there's no delay, because remember, there's 4 degrees delay between left and right if you're on the opposite side. So if you change the direction you're moving in, that's going to cause it to delay depending on how far you're moving the eyes, which is it's quite a bit. So it's not a huge delay, but it is some. So I've eliminated that. And then if your head rotation is to the right, then you want your eyes to go to the left. Okay. So we set up our eye rotation. We set up our head elevation, which is a new choice. And then we're going to move all of our servos. Then we're going to, when the movement count is equal to eyes only movement, we're done moving just our eyes. So we're going to update our servo positions so we know where we're currently at, because we didn't actually calculate how far we're going to get at all. And we're going to look at setting a new eye rotation, which is back to the center. Remember, we're going to start moving our eyes, and then we're going to move our head. And while our head is moving, our eyes are going back to the center. And there should be enough counts that we don't even notice that movement. Okay, so I's only movement count to the final count. So this is where we're starting, and we're going to the final count. So this is like 0. So we're at position 0 for these. Call move servos non-linear, I's to final count, and that finishes it. Now we've done a lot of changes. I probably should not have made that many changes without testing it, but for some reason or another, I seem to be doing that, and it's a bad habit. So don't do what I do. Do the right thing, not what I do. So test as you go, each time you make a change. Download it. Remove the cat hair if present, and plug in. Let's see. No. Was it different? We're looking for tracking. That's not tracking. That was tracking. That was tracking. Show me tracking. There's tracking. And I think it looks okay. Go back to this for a little bit. Let me do some math here. I think there might need a little bit of change. So if we subtract 11 from 26, we're going to get 15. That's almost 11. I think we want this to be a smaller amount because I think it's going too far. I think it's just getting too far. At a 9. I'm going to try it without that. Let's try it with that. All right, let's try this. Okay, made a change. Let's try it. Should still work because of the way I built this. That 9 only appears in one place, so when I change it in one place, it changes it in every place. That's better. Yeah, I think that's better. You can see it there. The eyes are just moving a little bit. They're not moving all the way over like they are now. Those were both follow head. That's follow head. There was tracking. Show us tracking again. There was tracking. Okay, so that looks pretty good. That's how I'm going to leave it. All right. Anything else we need to do in here? Eye rotation, then head rotation. So I'm going to group these together over here with that. Look at and we already looked through this and we did some changes that are good. I like the way it's working now. Made a change in here, as good as we could do it for now. I guess we could separate this out into two functions, one which returns one of these and the other returns the other, just like we've done over here with these two, but I don't need that to make this clear. I don't need it to make it clear, because we've set up a pattern and we're repeating that same pattern over and over again. Here, that was a lot messier. Because of the way it is with us, breaking in the middle and starting over again. Yeah, that was kind of a mess. Okay. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do for this video. And thank you for watching. Thank you to Henry, who actually got up there and went back to sleep. Where is that lazy bum? Oh, he's behind. You see that lazy? You see that lazy cat back there, laying down on the job? What's up with you, Henry? All right. Anyways, thanks for watching, and see you next time.